Midwest Picker on YouTube. Yeah, baby.
Hey, Midwest Picker here. Gonna do an experiment with my Minelab X-terra Pro metal detector. So sorry about the wind. So the theory is, does EMF interfere with a metal detector? So we've always been told, avoid power lines, avoid EMF. It'll mess up with your signals. You'll miss targets. So we're going to test that today in this 1898 farmhouse in Indiana, part 2. So I'm going to turn the camera around. So look at this field here. All of this is virgin field. This has never been metal detected. I'm the first one. But we have a problem. The problem is right there. We got some power lines. Oh yeah, that's an issue. So I am going to start at the edge of this cornfield, and I'm going to work my way towards the power lines, and you're going to follow me along, and we're going to do this together, and we're going to see, I hope that shows up, if these power lines are going to interfere with the metal detector. So let's go. All right. Okay, we're gonna pick field 1. Sensitivity. We'll crank that baby up to 20. Alright. Can't forget Mr. Shovel. We got something right away. I'll come back to this later. Lots of silage out here. I don't know. Lots of iron. -3. Lots of trash out here. I don't know what that is. It's like a bead. I'm going to come back towards the house, so any signals, maybe I'll pick them up later. Trash out here everywhere. This is not going to be easy to dig, I can tell you that right now. That's loud. Alright, I think we got something. I think we got something somewhere.
1 hour later.
There we go. It looks like lead. Looks like molten lead. Be cool if it was silver, but we'll put this in the. All right, shut up. We'll put this in the pouch. All right, we'll check that later. All right, pretty cool. Chunk of lead. So we'll double check that spot. Make sure there's nothing else. When there's one piece, there might be more. All right, we'll keep moving. Well, we got something maybe right here. Let me get the shovel out of the way. All right, still down there. Well, I think we got it. All right, let's get the probe. I apologize again if the camera is not picking up what I'm doing. That's annoying, I know. Probably, and most people think, you know, in a field like this, you're just going to find a nail or a screw, which is true. But you just don't know. Now we're not getting anything. Always probe your hole. All right, nothing, 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 still nothing. It's fault signal or I'm missing it. So let's get this back over here. Well, it might be deeper. I'll put this back over here and dig here. Now, this is a weak signal. I'm just going to let it go. All right, on we go. Strong signal, yes. Weak signal, I'm not going to waste my time. All right. Check my camera angle. All right, here we go. Sorry for the wind, guys. But so far you can see the performance. Let's see here. There's my screen. And there's the power lines. So we are getting closer to the power lines. And every time you hear a beep, that's not necessarily anything good. Could be minerals in the soil. I'm not going to dig every single beep and blip. But that lead that I got, you heard how loud that was. Nice loud signal. That's loud. Where is it? Let's check this out. Come on. It's trying. It's trying. I will edit out the boring part, so I don't want this video to be too long. Well, it seems like we lost it. It could be super deep. Alright, well, save it for some other detectors. The other thing too you gotta watch out for is snakes. There are snakes out here, and you'll see snake holes every once in a while. Different critters. Alright, something right here. How's my screen doing? Doesn't seem to be affected by the EMF yet. There we go. Got it. Seems like we got a lot of molten lead. You can see some metal there. It's kind of sharp. Get this. Oop, almost cut myself. We'll get this back to the house. It could be a piece of a tractor that's all mashed up. We'll clean this up better. It does have sharp edges, so you got to be careful. You don't want to get tetanus. Don't know what that is. Probably foil. It's all mashed together. Who knows? Nice strong signal. Well, at a minimum, I'm cleaning the field for the farmer. Thank you, Farmer Mike, for giving us permission. I forgot to mention that. He did give me permission to be out here, so that's always nice. Fill the hole back in as best you can, but this is a cornfield. You don't have to be too worried about returning it because he's got to plow this under. So let's go. That's loud. Let's check this out. And be careful when you're wearing jewelry. Your probe will go crazy. If you got your hand down here and you do this with a clump of dirt, yeah, that's my jewelry. Oh, 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 got it. False alarm, that was my jewelry. See, it gets all excited. When your probe gets all excited, make sure it's not your jewelry. People think metal detecting is easy money. It's not easy. We gotta get closer to these power lines so we can test the metal detector. You know what I'm saying? This is a big field. This let's see here, I'll show you. This chunk is this is like 60 acres. This would take you a lifetime to metal detect. There's the power lines right there. Gotta make sure my shovel is away from the metal detector. Really likes this spot. Alright, you say so. You say so, Mr. Metal Detector. I don't know. Maybe it's the EMF. That's glass. I should have my gloves on, my cut-proof gloves, but I don't. There we go. Good old Mr. Nail. Worthless nail. Put that in the bag so the future metal detectorist doesn't pick it up. Alright, anything else? Anything else? Please be something else. Probably not. And that does happen. It can be a trashy day. If I was better at metal detecting, I would know, you know, my signals for my X-terra Pro, what's iron and what's silver and what's gold, but it's very hard to discriminate between aluminum and gold. And sometimes people like to dig everything, every signal. This was a park, you know, a public park. Most of these signals would be pull tabs, bottle caps, coins, and jewelry. But this is not a public park. This is a cornfield. So you're going to get garbage in a cornfield. But if you think about it, this is a very old cornfield. And farmers back in the day had little tractors that they rode on, bumped around on, and they had coins in their pocket. Those coins do fall out. Got a good hit right here. So I can imagine back in the 1930s and 40s, farmers bopping around on their tractor and their small change falling out of their pocket. And this field gets plowed under and over, and you'd be shocked how new stuff is a foot deep and old stuff is close to the surface. That happens. Yeah, there's a lot of silage out here, trash out here. I want to get, there's some glass. There's always glass. I want to get right underneath these power lines and see what she does. The wind is picking up. Sorry about the wind. And we're not getting any signals. The power lines are right there. It could be interfering. Check that out. No signal. Nothing. Oh. Now I was getting a lot of signals when we first started. Very few now. Very few signals. This is getting to be boring. Usually mineralization, lead birdshot from shotgun shells, all that stuff is out here. Of course, birdshot's very tiny, hard to pick up. Bullets are bigger. But I do, ooh. Seems like if I get a signal, it's weak. You guys can't hear it, but I hear the crackling of the power lines as we get closer. Alright, this thing is quiet. It may be true. So my phone is on airplane mode, but even when my phone was on, I found those molten lead. Thinks there's something here. Still power on. All right, let me try digging a little deeper. I gotta find the 1804 silver dollar somewhere. You know, it could be with your probe. If your batteries are weak or your battery is weak, it might not be able to work as well. Could be I'm off. Could be I missed. It's weird, I hear the crackling overhead like Rice Krispies. Alright, I'm gonna give up on this. Alright, let's do an experiment. Shall we? I have clad quarter, just a plain clad quarter. I'm going to put it in the dirt and see if the metal detector can detect it under these conditions. Yeah, it sure can. The EMF is not affected at all. And there it is. So, found that clad quarter with no problem, even though we're nearly underneath the power lines. So, let's keep going. The crackling is getting louder. Oh. Right in the corn. I don't know, man. I've not had luck so far. Nothing. Alright. I don't want this video to take forever, so I want to get underneath those power lines for you. So, gonna let this one go. Alright guys, we are directly below the power lines. I'll give you a shot here. There's the tower, there's the lines. We are directly below the power lines. I hope that shows up on video. I'm gonna look stupid. Alright, so the age-old question, does EMF interfere with the metal detector? I think the answer is no, as far as it working, it works. So the question with the EMF, does it interfere with its ability to discriminate or work well or dig for signals deeper? I don't know. I don't pretend to know. Okay, it likes this spot right here underneath the power lines. Got a nice loud signal under the corn. We are directly, if you're just tuning in, if you fast forwarded, we are directly below the power lines. EMF is at its highest level. I should buy an EMF detector, you know, from Amazon and use that and show you the levels and all that kind of stuff. But now it's entirely possible we're getting false positives because of the EMF, because it's been a while since I've found anything. So let's do the quarter test. Got my clad quarter here. So I'm going to put my quarter down, put some dirt over it. Alright, Mr. Probe, show me where the quarter is. Yeah, right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let's try the metal detector. Oh yeah. You hear how loud that is? The pinpointer, yeah, they know where it is. So, as far as EMF interfering, I'm going to say it's inconclusive. Maybe. These quarters are not deep. So maybe it interferes with deep signals. And here comes my brother-in-law. Check on me. There he is. There's the 1898 farmhouse. I'm going to head back towards the house away from the power lines and see if we start getting accuracy now. It's interesting with this experiment because when I first started, I was getting signals like crazy.
Yeah.
And but the closer I got to the power lines, the fewer signals I got. Why is this shovel's vibrating? You should, yeah, feel that handle. Just stick it in the ground and hold it for a second. You can feel it. All start heading this way. Alright, if you're tuning in late, I am heading back away from the power line. Oop, heading away from the power lines. In my experiment with a clad quarter on the surface, I don't know if that's worth anything. Maybe the performance is only impeded for deep signals and not surface signals. I don't know, but I bet you as I get further away from the power lines, we're going to hear more and more signals, like we did in the beginning of the video. I apologize again for this wind. I got a windsock on the GoPro, but when you're out in an open cornfield, you're going to have wind all the time. Some weird phenomenon is the handle of the shovel keeps vibrating. When I stick it in the dirt and hold the handle like this, it vibrates. Very odd. Just very mild vibration. I don't know if it's picking something up from the power lines or if it's my imagination. And it seems like when I get a signal, it's under the corn, which is really hard to dig. It's my luck. But this is good to know. So if you have the opportunity to metal detect private property and it has power lines, some detectorists would turn it down and say, no, I don't want to metal detect that because it's got a power line. Well, you might be the first person to metal detect if everybody else declines. I think we might hit that grass too. It's been a while since I did that. Last video, I'm going to link down in the description below the first part 1 video where I metal detected this farmhouse. I'll tell you right now, I didn't find anything to write home about. I did find a penny hoard. That was kind of cool. The bad part is they were all stinking Lincolns. But I did find some stuff. But no gold or silver. So if you don't want to watch it, you don't have to. We got a signal here, a deep one. Some people like to dig until it's not in the hole. Some people just like to start probing the hole. I'm kind of new to this, so I don't really have a technique yet. I see it already. Well, looky, looky. I'm gonna pay off the mortgage on my house. I found a rusty nail. Of course, probably another nail. Well, tell you what, I want to make this video quick, so if I get bad signals, I'm not going to dig them. I think with this metal detector, anything in the 20s and 30s is good. Negatives are iron. High 90s. I don't know. Let's go read the manual. I don't remember. But I think, tell me if I'm wrong, I'm getting more signals now that I'm walking further and further from the power lines. Is it just me, or are you keeping track at home? Give it a go. And she's excited about something. I don't know what. I ain't got all day. Now I'm just looking for a nice loud gold signal. I don't mind digging iron if I had all day. I just don't have all day. Hit that grass. So we'll swing until we get to the grass, just in case. These signals I'm not showing you because it's just a waste of time. But you'll notice I'm far from the power lines now. Let's give you a shot of that. Alright. So there's where the power line is. Right there. You can see them. They're much further. And the grass is right there where we started. There's my bag. So as you can tell, we're getting chirps and cheeps and hey, look over here messages and signals. Much more than when I was standing underneath those power lines. So what do you think? What's your conclusion? Put it down in the comments. Was that EMF, EMR interfering with my ability to get signals? Even though I was able to get my clad quarter from my pocket change at 0 depth. Maybe the EMF, whoa. Man, that's loud. Probably someone's coughing. Mr. Probe is saying, oh, there we go. Deep. Don't cut yourself, Dave. Alright, well, when it's that loud, that is, I'm optimistic when it gets that loud. And this probe doesn't go very far. A couple inches, 3 inches. You gotta be careful when you grab soil and chuck it. Make sure you know where you chucked it. Have to get the shovel out here. Got a strong signal.
1 hour later.
Just can't find it. This probe only goes 3 inches deep and I've dug a foot. Oh, did you hear that? That's a coffee can full of gold coins. We got something big. If you see a geyser of sewage, I'm gonna run. You hear that? It's probably a septic tank. Oh boy. Well, it's iron and it's big. It's probably an old septic tank. Well, it's big and round. Could be Jimmy Hoffa. Holy cow, casino. 8. I edited out most of this video because this is either an iron pipe or a well cap or a big chunk of tractor, and it's red. And I don't think it's going to show up on video. Maybe I'll try to brighten it up. Right, I don't know. I got a flashlight, but I don't know if it's working. You can see that in there. It's red. So, yeah. Alright, I'm going to call it. I'm not digging this up. It's too big. It's probably a piece of a tractor. But I am marking the location. So maybe in the future I can dig it up. Yeah, I'm not digging you, mister. Wow. The wind is really bad. And if you didn't know, if you're young and you don't know, I was a kid in the 70s. Very common for old people to bury their trash in the ground. Oh boy. Yeah. We do have septic tanks and lines out here. So I'm not going to dig up my sister's lawn every time I get a signal. So that's the video, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming along. Put your comments down about whether or not you think EMF, EMR affects this baby right here. This is a Minelab X-terra Pro. I love it. It's fantastic. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. Maybe the next time I come out here, maybe I'll hit a different part of the cornfield. Maybe I'll go out there. I don't know. But it's beautiful country, beautiful day, 80 degrees. May 10th, the day before Mother's Day. That's it. Until next time, see ya.
Midwest Picker on YouTube. Yeah, baby.